Let's see. So you got your screen all taped up and you're ready to print. The one thing I want to talk to you about right now probably isn't as particular to the single color screen printing that you're doing this week and next week. But when you start doing multicolor screen printing, what I'm about to do is critical to making your life easy, because it's an easy way to line up all the colors that you might be wanting to put on a shirt. So what I want you to do is have your artwork available, your original artwork, on paper, and I want you to position that on the platen where you want it to print. Now, we talked about the tape on the platen represents where we're going to put the neckline of the shirt, and we want the shirt to print a hand down from the neckline. We don't want to crowd that. Now, in this instance, this design is so large that it would bleed off the platen, so we would have to adjust for that. So if I'm printing this shirt, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to pull the neckline to the top of the platen, and that gets all my image on the platen. Then I want to take a T-square, which is usually hanging right over there. Oh, here we go. And I want to put that on the platen, and if I have type or lines that run horizontal, I want to make sure I have that on there horizontally and it's square, because you don't want to walk around with your shirt like this. Although that'd look funny. Then you could take a ruler. I use fingers, and you want to check to make sure you're centered. So I got 3 fingers on either side. Grab yourself a piece of masking tape. Make yourself a tab and tape that down so it's in place. Then you can bring one of the clamps over, put it in the saddle or the yoke, and line this up to your artwork. And so when you put your shirts on neat, square, and centered, you know that you'll be printing accurately. Now, can you understand how this would be really important if I had another screen? I could bring it over, line it up exactly, tighten down the clamps, and then I know when I'm printing, I'm ready to go. When you start printing multiple colors, the biggest challenge is getting them to line up and register. And if you do it this way, you're going to really lower your frustration. If you try to do it while you're printing, you're going to get really mad. And I'm going to say to you, hey, did you try that thing I showed you? You go, no, I thought I could do it this way a lot faster. I'm going to go, almost told you so things. So make sure you take the time to do that. Once you're ready to do that, squeegees are in this cabinet, and we have different widths for different ink coverage. So if you have an image that goes the entire width of your shirt, you're obviously going to need a wider squeegee. If you're doing small stuff like just left chest or something like that, smaller squeegee is going to work out for you. And then all your ink colors are down here. And at this point, you're probably going to want to put some gloves on. And you're going to want to grab yourself an ink knife. And then you take the ink out, and we'll just put it right on the squeegee. These people have some ink mixed up, but I'm going to borrow it. So instead of putting the ink on the screen, we want to take and put the ink on the squeegee. And then you want to work that all the way across so you've got enough ink to cover the entire width of your ink area. Got to show you something. I took this squeegee. Look at that. Does that look clean to you? Does that look clean on the video? No, that does not look clean. I took this out of the clean bin, and if I was screen printing, see all that pink and white or whatever that is got in there? We got to clean up better. Especially if you're going to print white ink on a black shirt, you're going to want to make sure everything is sanitary, because you don't want that pink showing up in the white, and that would really be a drag. I would also make sure you clean those ink knives if you're using white or yellow really thoroughly. Like clean them and then clean them again. And I would do the same with a squeegee, just to make sure you got all the color out of it so you don't damage the impurities of your ink when you print it. Okay? So that should be the goal. Remember to print test prints. You can either print them on paper, or you can find old used shirts down here and do test prints there. You got to save a test print for your board. So remember to do that. Before you even start that part of the process, I probably should have showed you how to turn on the tunnel dryer. There's a power switch here. Because this takes about 10 minutes to heat up. And if you're going to be printing light colors on a dark shirt, you're going to have to do multiple layers. We're also going to turn on the flash dryer. So you want to turn both of those on because they need about 10 minutes to heat up. Back to the tunnel dryer, we'd really appreciate it if you didn't mess with the heat settings or turn it off here. That doesn't necessarily turn off the tunnel dryer. It just turns off the belt. So this just sits here and gets hot while that's not moving, and it can damage the belt. So when you're all done screen printing, turn that off there. Alright, I think you'll be ready. And then tomorrow, last demo was cleaning up a screen, but I think I did the screen cleanup thing back when we stripped the screen. So I'll review it, but it should go fast. Okay, cool. The rest of the time should be